Hello friends, in this lecture we deal with about the food web. So food web is nothing but the network of the food from one with the another and interlinking with each other. So what is meant by the food chain actually? The food chain in a natural conditions never operate as an isolated sequence but in an ecosystem the various food chains are interconnected or interlinked with each other, forming a sort of interlocking pattern. And this pattern is said to be a food web. Simple food chains are very rare in nature, and this is because each organism may obtain food from more than one trophic level. In other words, we say that one organism forms a food and more than one organisms of the higher trophic level they can be eaten. So for example, grazing food chain as we seen, that is the grassland ecosystem. In absence of rabbit, grass may be eaten by the mouse. So the mouse in turn may be eaten directly by the hawk or maybe the snake. At the first that can be eaten by the hawk. So in this way there is a network is observed. For example, these are the grass that is in that ecosystem. Here are the trees that can be produce certain material or fruits or even the other leaves for the particular herbivores type of animals. So these are called to be the herbivores. Here for example, here rabbits are there, then rats, certain flies and that is certain herbivores. Then here are the scorpion and small type of herbivores, so that are depend on the producer as a green plant, and that can be eaten by the directly third trophic level type of animals, big animals, or maybe the that is the secondary type of carnivorous animals. So here we see these are the small type of herbivores that can be eaten by the fish, and fish are the certain fish keepers, and then fish keepers by the big animal, that is lion. And another is the frogs to the snake and hawk likewise. Then another is the grass, that is the producers to the rats. Then that is the another type of secondary consumer, and that can be up to this, and then rabbits to the such type of animals, and finally this big animal. So in this way there is a interlocking type of system from producers to the up to the top carnivores, and these are the intermediate type of animals, that is the herbivores, then secondary herbivores, carnivores, then another that is the only the carnivores animals, and top carnivores here. So in this way there is a chain of the food or network of the food is called as food web. Now the as we seen from this diagram, the grass is eaten by the grasshopper, rabbits and the mouse. Grasshopper is eaten by the lizard, which is eaten by the hawk. Rabbit is eaten by the hawk, and even the mouse is eaten by the snake, which is eaten by the hawk. In addition to that, hawk is also directly eats the grasshopper and also the mouse, and thus there is a fine linear food chain is also observed or interconnected to one another in that food web. So there are certain examples over here: the grass to the grasshopper to the hawk, grass to the grasshopper, lizard and hawk. So grass to the rabbit and hawk. So grass can be eaten by the mouse and the hawk. So grass, mouse, snake and hawk. So these are the kind of interlinking with each other, and stars are the grass, that is the producers, and these are the all consumers from depend on each other. So such a type of chain is present in the food web. The food web is very important in maintaining the stability of an ecosystem. For example, decrease the population of rabbit would naturally cause the increase in the population of alternative herbivore, the mouse, and they may decrease the population of the consumer or carnivores that prefer to eat the rabbit. and the alternatives of these substitutes serves for maintaining as well as stability of the ecosystem. When one type of herbivore become extinct, the other type of herbivores increase in number and control the vegetation. Similarly, when one type of herbivore animal become extinct, the carnivores predating on the type may be eaten another kind of herbivores. So there are certain one go on increasing and other will be decreasing, but that is not the maintaining the particular ecosystem in the nature. So complexity of any food chain that also depend upon the diversity of the animals in the ecosystem. So this is about the food web. Now we go through the ecological pyramid. Pyramid is nothing but base is bigger and that has the certain apex, so that is called as a pyramid. So such a type of food pyramids or the ecosystem present in the nature, the number of biomass, that is a biological material, and energy of organisms gradually decrease from producer level to the consumer level. That is the herbivores, carnivores type of animals. Producers are the green plants, and these few steps of the trophic level can be expressed in the diagrammatic way, and that can be referred or called it as the ecological pyramids. Ecological pyramid is one of the graphic representation of the numbers. How many numbers are there, big number to the small number. So such a pyramid is observed. Then biomass and energy of the particular successive trophic level in an ecosystem, and ecological pyramids that are producers from the base, that is which are bigger in number, and the final is the consumer which present at the apex, that is the top of that particular pyramid, and these are less in number. So in this way there are certain ecological pyramids. This can be classified into the three types. One is called as a pyramid of numbers, pyramid of biomass, pyramid of energy. So here pyramid of energy, numbers, that has the certain relationship between producers, herbivores, and the carnivores type of animals, or the that successive numbers in the trophic level in terms of their numbers, and the number of individual at the trophic level decreases from producers to the directly carnivores type of animals, or the level of the such a consumer level. So the number of producers in an ecosystem is very high, and that number of herbivores is lesser than the producer, that is the producers are the greater in number. So that can be represented in a diagrammatic way or in the pyramid. So there are kind of pyramids are there. So primary consumers are there. So these are also depend on the certain grass or green plants, and that is the another secondary consumers, and then tertiary consumers. So these are the smaller in number, that is the tertiary consumer. And what are the bigger in number? That is the primary consumers are the bigger in number. So that has goes on decreasing level. So there are kind of pyramids or individual per unit area we can be determined. So here if we consider the producers, that is the green plants that can be eaten by the herbivores, that is the fruit eating birds and bugs, etc. Then parasites, and then hyper parasites on the lice. So in this way the primary to the secondary and secondary to the tertiary, so such a type of numbers are been decreasing from bottom to the top. Here we know about the phytoplanktons, are then zooplanktons. These can be eaten by the fishes and the snake. So the photoplanktons are greater in number than the snake. So this chain is observed, and that pyramid can be represented in this way, that is called as that is a pyramid of numbers. Now actually the pyramid of numbers to do not give the true picture of the food chain, as they are not very functional, and that indicates their relative effect on the geometric or food chain or size of factor of the organism. Now second is called as the pyramid of biomass. That is, biomass is nothing but the biological type of molecule, that is animals. So biomass, which refers the total weight of the living matter per unit area, and therefore pyramid of the biomass which weigh the individual of each trophic level instead of counting them. So this would gives us the pyramid of biomass, the total weight of the organisms at a given level in the ecosystem. The biomass decreases from producers to the consumer level. Again, we know that the producers are the last, that is a tree, forest, etc., and that can be eaten by the certain herbivorous animals like elephant, deer, goat, etc. These are the quite less in number, and these can be eaten by the lion and a snake, leopards. These are the carnivorous animal. These are the less in number. So these are the biological type of that is producer herbivores and the carnivores called with the biological animals. So these are the lesser in number at the top and greater the producers at the base level. So this is called to be the pyramid of biomass. And third is called as a pyramid of energy. So of the three types of ecological pyramids of the energy informative and gives us the best level of the nature of the ecosystem. The energy flows of an ecosystem from producer level to the consumer level at the trophic level. About the 80 to 90% of energy is lost, and the amount of energy decreases from producer level to the top level, that is apex, to the consumer. That can be represented in the form of energy pyramid. So here the energy of the pyramid is more accurately reflects on the law of thermodynamics, and the pyramid always in the right side with the large energy base at the bottom side, that is producer level. Again, as we seen earlier type of pyramids, that is the number and the biomass pyramids. So here the energy pyramid, again here the always the producers at the base level and the energy go on decreasing from the bottom to the top. So here the producers, that is the primary consumers, that is called to be the herbivores, and herbivores to the secondary type of consumers called to be the carnivores, and carnivores to the tertiary consumers, or that is also to be the carnivores. So in this way the energy are produced from these producers to the top one, and these are the decreased down, and such a type of food energy that can have been shown in this diagram. So a lion that eats the deer, and that gets at the even smaller amount of energy, and this usable energy decreases from sunlight to the producer to the herbivores to the carnivores, and therefore yeah, that particular energy pyramid always be upright positions. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.